Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be talking about the game Night in the Woods today. And honestly, to be upfront, I haven't finished this game yet. But I don't think the fact that I haven't finished it yet hinders me because all I want to do is sing about the praises of this game, honestly. If you want to know why I love this game, stay tuned, but first hit that subscribe button so we can talk indie games. Night in the Woods is a story-driven game with a little bit of platforming thrown into it. You play as your character May, who is a young adult, just turned 20, and dropped out of college. You return to your very small, very run-down town that I believe used to be a mining town, Possum Springs, and you reconnect with your high school friends. The best way I can describe it is a heavy coming-of-age story where the game tackles a lot. First off, you're in your 20s, so your character has a lot of pressure to have it figured out and to find themselves, and they don't really know what they're doing. We also don't know why May dropped out in the first place. I have not gotten to that point in the story yet, but a part of the story kind of alludes to some sort of mental health crisis, or at least that's what I get from the story. And the writing is nothing to laugh at. It is very well written. It's not often that I can be so captivated by a solely story-driven game. So little action to do. Now, does that hinder its replayability? Of course it does. It has one story to tell, but the experience you get going through it that one time, it's intoxicating. You want to know what's next. You want to find out what all of the characters are going through. It's a heavy and compelling story. I would say the best way to describe it would be a little bit more laid back of a BoJack Horseman, because that show talks about really heavy topics: alcohol addiction, drug addiction, as well as loss and grief and not being the greatest person. And I would say that this game tries to achieve the same thing in a lot less serious of tone. Now, don't get me wrong, the topics that they try to broach are not short of serious. They just aren't as heavy. They have a different tone. For instance, two best friends, B, their mom died in high school, and having to come to the term that their reality isn't going to be what they want. They want to go to college. They want to fulfill their dreams, but reality, accepting that, they're staying in their hometown. They are running their family hardware business. Is that what her friend wants to do? No, it's not. But it is a reality that her friend is coming to terms with. Her other friend is in a relationship, and much like many early 20-year-olds, struggle to feel good enough for that relationship, especially if it's a serious one. There's a lot of coming of age, early 20s concepts that the characters have to grapple with. In your character, they left college. Right now in the story, I feel like it's a mental illness driven reason, which is a very valid reason, especially to leave a place where you don't have so much support and to go back to a place that is nothing but support is very important. And we get to this argument that our main character has with her mom, where they talk about being first generation, which really struck a chord with me, being first generation. I think that there's a lot of different heavy topics for different people, and I think that besides the three main characters that you have and the two friends and the main character that you have, there are plenty of people around town who also have their own plights, and you get to talk to a number of them. This game is riddled with content. There is a nest of little rat babies you can take care of by stealing pretzels down in I think it's a subway station. And there are people you can talk to on the roofs. There's people who you can talk to on the sidewalk. It's a very small town feel, and you get that feeling with the ability that you're able to talk to everyone, and in some way you know almost everyone. And I find that really comforting. The writing doesn't suffer with that amount of content either. Each person that you interact with is still so well written. It's not just the main characters that get the best parts. This game is really well-rounded as far as writing and content within the city and the characters themselves. As far as game mechanics go, like I said, it is hard for a mainly solely story-driven game to captivate me the way that Night in the Woods has captivated me. There are platforming elements around the city. You can jump up on telephone wires and climb and walk through the city that way to get to higher levels of different buildings and get to different areas. There is a stealing element where your main character basically says the psychology of stealing is you just freeze like the dinosaurs and then they can't see you. So you just have to move at a pace and you watch the person's eye and then you just can't move and then you put it in your pocket. And sometimes I succeeded, sometimes I didn't. I think the hardest mechanic for me to master was definitely the bass. I mean, I still haven't mastered it anywhere near being good and not making mistakes, but the bass element is interesting. I think they made it a little or more hard than was necessary for that mechanic. There's also a small little like dungeon game that you can play on your laptop, which is a really nice mini game, and I think it works really well in the story. And then we come to the last part of the story, which is the dreams. Now, every night you go to bed and you have these dreams that end up being nightmares, and they're very dark, they're very disorienting at times, and after you solve the puzzle within the dream, you always dissolve and there's this big creature. And then you wake up, you go to your mom, you talk about it, and you're just getting more tired and more scared of your own brain, basically. There are a couple of other story elements that I don't know how they play out yet. May sees a ghost during the Harvest Festival, which she believes is real, and very well could be. Then in investigations, then when May and her friends are trying to find out what happens, you read newspaper clippings, and May and her friend brush this one newspaper clipping off. I think that it might be a foreshadow that this was a mining town and there was some gas leaks, which led to some people having some mass hallucinations. So that could be a factor into the story. I don't know yet, but I think that would make sense as an ending. But like I said, not there yet. Then there was a man who went missing and an arm that was found. So there is obviously a murderer. And overall, the reason why I picked this game was I thought I was going to get a nice, chill, spooky game. And what I got in return was amazing writing that makes you feel like you know that everything is going to be alright, but your characters don't know that everything is going to be alright. And you watch them go through some hard moments and hard conversations that you probably have also gone through. The writing is real, but it doesn't make you so depressed like you're watching like This Is Us or something. This writing, like I said, has a quality that is in line with BoJack Horseman, and I think because of the writing being so heavy and the topics being so heavy, being undercut with the fact that you're playing a cartoon cat, it helps take the edge off. Overall, that is my ramblings of how much I love this game, and I look forward to continue playing this in my leisure. Whatever price it is, it's worth it. For that one playthrough, for you to experience this story is definitely worth it. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, please again like, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.